and welcome to the Consciously Curious Causes and Cures. I'm Peggy Sue Skipper. And back in 2009 at the Vancouver Peace Summit, the Dalai Lama stated, "The world will be saved by the Western woman." So who are we Western women, and where are we, and why in the world would it be our job to save the world, and how do we do that anyway? Well, Western women have probably been the single largest group of people on the planet that have been consciously curious enough to study metaphysics, spirituality, self-help, therapy, etc. since the 1960s. We've amassed a lot of knowledge. Now, there are many men on this path as well, but we women have led this evolution. I call this group of people the consciously curious, and I will tell you that we are now the new silent majority. So, I've learned some key truths in my studies that I want to share with you now, and perhaps you've learned them as well. And one of the key truths I've learned is that I'm not always responsible for my first thoughts. Thoughts are random and sometimes products of subconscious programming, but I am at choice for my second thought, and I am completely responsible for my words and actions. And my words and actions create my reality. It is energetically impossible to create something beautiful or great with ugly words, hateful actions, and chaos. Just not energetically possible. So, what is the consciously curious silent majority to do in this polarized condition that we're in right now? Well, I can tell you that it's not a time to put on blinders and earplugs and pretend nothing's going on. Something is going on, and we have a major part to play. Because most of us started on this journey for some personal reason. Some issue, trauma, childhood issues, grief, something that we were not able to resolve in the normal way, so we sought other answers. Well, in the process of doing that, we have been building a toolbox. We have information, we have knowledge, and now it's time for us to use them collectively to help minimize, get rid of, hopefully, the extreme polarization that we're in right now. Now, one thing I've learned is that no situation, no polarized situation, can be resolved in the same energy that it's created in. We can either go up to a higher energy and find mediation and compromise, which always requires that we have a common goal, or we can sink to a lower energetic level and eventually end up in physical war. So we're at choice right now. Which way do we want to go? And how do we find that common goal that we can move toward in love rather than moving away from something in fear? Well, I want to stop for a minute and talk about COVID-19. Change the subject just for a second, because this is another polarized issue. Is it real? Is it a hoax? Who knows? What's the truth? How do we act? How do we react? Well, I can tell you that COVID-19 is a real pandemic. And if we step back and look objectively at our behavior, our words and our actions, our collective words and actions, we can see how we've literally created this pandemic energetically. This pandemic is a message from the planet. Slow down. You're killing me. I can't breathe. So how do we take that up to a higher energy level? Well, we take that as our common goal, to become more in sync, in tune with our fundamental foundation, the planet. Because right now, all of our foundations are being shaken. We're questioning science, we're questioning history, we're questioning religion, we're questioning politics, we're questioning everything. And those fundamental foundations are being shaken because we have systematically and consistently been jeopardizing and eroding our fundamental foundation, which is the planet. We become like a species of vampires, sucking the lifeblood out of the planet and expecting our host to stay healthy. Now, this is not a time to start finger pointing and blaming anyone or industry for where we are. We're in this together. So, and let's just use petroleum as an example. When the car first came out, that was actually the environmentally good solution to all the horse manure. It was cleaning up the environment. Well, who knew it was going to grow so fast and so large? But it is a finite resource. And it's kind of like a big game of Jenga. When are we going to pull out that block that collapses the whole thing? We're at choice here. This is a crossroads time. And that's why it is so important for the consciously curious silent majority to step up and be seen and heard and step into this common goal as a priority and step out of the chaos of other issues. I am not saying that the other issues are not important. Many of them are very important. But the question I ask when anyone begins to talk about an issue is, will it matter if we don't have a planet? The answer is generally no. So that can be our common goal. We can step into words and actions that can return us or take us to a more sustainable lifestyle. Another thing I've learned is that even the most complicated situations, answers are always simple. They're just rarely easy. So the answer is simple and it ain't easy, but we have the ability to do it. I look at my cell phone, and that is more powerful than a computer that used to fill a warehouse. And that happened in my lifetime. And that happened because we buy them, we use them, we buy them, we use them. And so they become more and more powerful and smaller and less expensive. We give our energy to it and our dollars, our money energy, as well as our physical energy. And that's why they've evolved so quickly and so well. We can take that same concept and apply it to more sustainable ways to be on the planet. Of course we can. I recently saw on Facebook, it was a Black Lives Matter gathering, and a white woman was carrying a sign, handwritten sign, and it said, "I'm sorry I'm late. I had a lot to learn." And here we sit, the consciously curious, silent majority, with all of this information, all of this knowledge about how energy works, about how to choose between love and fear, about how our words and actions matter and create a reality. It is time for us to stand up and be seen and heard. It is time for us to work together toward that kind of future. It's possible. Absolutely. And we are at a crossroads right now. And we can choose to move to that kind of sustainable future, or we can choose to go back to what we were doing, which in fact created the COVID pandemic. And I can assure you that if we do that, if we go back to what we've been doing, we will create a new pandemic and it will make COVID-19 look like child's play. Why would we do that to ourselves? We know better. We can do better. It's time to get behind this issue. in a big way because we are out of timeouts and resets on this issue. And we can make it happen. And that's kind of exciting to me, to think that we can create something new and sustainable. I can't even imagine where we'll be in 10 years if we really got behind this. But it's a beautiful feeling. So, calling the consciously curious silent majority. Let's step up to the plate. It's our turn. Have a great day.